What I'm trying to solve is people being able to use emotions and emotional intelligence for their advantage rather than their disadvantage. I think it was not a moment in time when it happened. I think it was a gradual realization over a couple of months for me. So there was this space and time in my life where I realized that because of the lack of emotional intelligence and EQ, if you would call it that way, I reached a point where I was almost close to shattering in life. And I realized that I didn't need a pill or a gun or to jump from a building to die. My own emotion can kill me. It's that powerful. So the next couple of months went on with some more failure in my life, some more difficult situations and things like that, for me to eventually realize that I need to work on my emotional situation. And I got down to it, and I went very deep into it, to the point of coming up with my own theories and coming up with my own realizations about how things work really. And that was the time when I was transitioning from being this mechanical engineer to, I guess, an emotional engineer. And I did manage, like some of my friends reached out to me for help during that very time when I was resolving myself, and I was able to do that really well for them. So doing it for yourself is one thing, but being able to do it for someone else is a pretty big thing. So I tested that capability over and over, again and again, with random strangers of the internet. And I had just one metric. The metric was how many people would come back for the second time, because anybody would take a shot on you for the first time, but if they're coming back for the second time, you know that you're doing something right. And that was my confirmation as to what I was about to do. And that's when I got started into it seriously. So what I'm trying to solve is people being able to use emotions and emotional intelligence for their advantage rather than their disadvantage. There's a lot of information and content and books that are available out there, but there is not a lot of transformation that is available out there, because you can't get transformation out of reading a book or watching a couple of videos. It has to be a personally orchestrated journey, and those are the kind of personal journeys that I take executives and even individuals upon, which create that long-lasting change in their personal and professional lives. So I'm not bragging about myself, but I'm a little bit of a polymath. So I bring every possible area of human endeavor into my discussion about psychology and emotional intelligence. So I could bring astronomy, I could bring astrophysics, I could bring technology, I could bring science, engineering, math, all that much. So because of that, conversations with me are very deeply enlightening in a way that people can relate with the conversations, with the subjects and topics that they're already aware of, and not just keeping it as rabid, dry, emotional discussions. So that's one key strength that I have. And the second one, I personally feel differentiates me from everybody else in the problem area that I'm trying to solve, is accurate empathy and very strong intrapersonal skill, which is my ability to observe myself in a deep way, to spot out my own, my own difficulties and troubles and my own bad decisions. And that helps me to look at the other person in a much more easier way. So I think that is my differentiating value proposition. I think one of the most important things that leaders should catch is, more than the metrics, more than the performance targets, more than all these things, care has to be an area that leaders have to tap into. If their employees or subordinates feel that they are cared for around this particular leader, you will see that these employees will outperform themselves and outmatch the expectations of the leader that he or she may have on these employees. So when people feel cared for, they feel very safe and secure. And when they feel safe and secure, they are reaching to their best. I think that's the environment of care that leaders should create around themselves. And care doesn't have to be like, oh, I'll be your mommy and you don't have to work, I'll still take care of you. It's not that. Care can be the platform on which the best performance out of people can come out. For me, what resonates with me is the time in which things happen. Is the strictly limited time and a very heavy deliverable that has to be delivered in that limited amount of time. That is what inspires me about Speakers Institute Corporate DNA. Because one of my personal beliefs is that life itself runs in a time limit. Like we may live for some 70 years, 80 years or whatever that is, or maybe more, who knows. But the point is everything thus inside life should also have a very strict time limit, is my opinion on things. So when something that is very precious can be achieved in a very strict time limit, it's an inspiring place for me to be. So that's my catch point for SIC, Speakers Institute Corporate DNA. And that's what I continue to look forward to, is how can we in these next 3-4 hours change the way things are done for our participants forever. So that's what inspires me about Speakers Institute Corporate DNA. An inspiring leader is someone who's able to articulate and envision a clear path, a clear vision of where he wants the world to go, he or she wants the world to go, and what they are imagining out of the world, how they want the world to look like. They have to be able to paint a very clear picture of that. And along with the picture, they have to be able to rally a lot of individuals behind that cause. So they have to be big picture and also detailed at the same time in a certain good proportion. It may not be 50-50 exactly, but in a certain good proportion, so that whatever they are envisioning comes to life because of grounded in practical reality and not just some esoteric, unrealistic thinking. I think that's what makes a visionary, an inspiring leader, someone who can articulate a clear version of what they want the world to look like and have also the ability to rally people behind that cause. That's an interesting question. So I didn't have much access to English cinema growing up. So majority of the songs that inspired me are from my mother language, which is Telugu. But I do have one song from English which has captivated me, especially when I was a teenager. It is Let It Be from Beatles.
Oh, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be.
So that song speaks volumes about a personal strength a person has to build to let situations in life be and still move forward without getting stuck and stopping in that situation. So that's Let It Be from Beatles is my top pick. And coming to my own mother tongue, the two songs that have really shaped the way I think and the way I move forward in my life is one, the song's name is Jeevitam Ante Poratam. In Telugu language. What the song signifies is that life is a struggle and you are here to make the best out of it. There's one more, again in Telugu. The song's name is పచ్చని చిలకలు తోడుంటే.
పచ్చని చిలుకలు తోడుంటే, పాడే కోయిల వెంటుంటే, భూలోకమే ఆనందానికి ఊయి, లోకంలో కన్నీరింక చెల్లు.
This is from the 90s, I believe. But what the song really talks about is when you have your family and a great environment and happiness around you, that is the best situation to be in, rather than keep running behind money and not enjoy life as it is. So these are the two songs. So they're very contrary. One side it is like go behind success and everything of that sort, and the other side it is have some balance in life. So these two songs majorly shaped me when I was growing up. The first book that I ever read in the line of reading books is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So when I bought that book, it was that fat, and I never read a book before, so it was overwhelming for me, and I took a month to complete it. But that book fundamentally changed my thinking in terms of how people behave or why people do what they do and what they should rather be doing. It challenged my pre-existing notions in a not in a very confrontational or intimidational manner, but in a more comfortable and in a breezy way, which I was able to digest in that time. So I guess it's safe to say that that book fundamentally shook me from inside, and it has resulted in very many leadership success stories that I had from there. The word advantage, and the way I look at it is life will always throw situations at us in one way or the other. Are we able to creatively find our advantage out of such experiences or such situations, and are we able to move forward is the big and the only question, I suppose. So any situation I walk into, any circumstance I walk into, my immediate thinking is, what is my advantage with this? What advantage can I find in this? The moment I start thinking about that way, my life becomes a 24/7 love affair and not a stressful situation. So advantage is the word that I continuously bank upon, and I keep teaching my clients also to bank upon finding their advantage in their situation.